1,000 years, persons achieved God realization through sacrifice, different sacrificial performances. And then that time passed, and then we entered into Dwapara Yuga, which lasted 864,000 years, and it ended with Lord Krishna's departure from this world at 125 years of age. So it ended then, and Dwapara Yuga, persons achieved God realization through the process of worship ceremonies, just as we do here, but a little more elaborate. And now we are in Kali Yuga, the age of darkness, the age of agitation, or the age of argument. Everyone is going to looks for an argument. Why? He wants to prove that he's strong, he's powerful, he's great, he's superior. We all came into this world originally from the eternal world, the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everyone loves Krishna, everyone serves Krishna, everyone adores Krishna, and everyone loves the idea of that they can actually give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. And when they see the big smile on Krishna's face, they're very happy to see that. And when Krishna receives that smile as a result of loving, pure, sweet, unstinting devotional service, then he wants to reciprocate. So that reciprocation is not something external. It takes place right in your heart. It's right there where Krishna lives. He lives in the heart as super soul, Paramatma. So Paramatma is right here, and just beside Paramatma is Atma. Yes. So we have Paramatma, we have Atma. So when Paramatma becomes very loving and very kind and very sweet and very adoring, well, Krishna is a sentient being, and he's just as if I express love to any of you, I come and I give you a nice bowl of halwa, you certainly want to reciprocate. Everybody does. And the next thing I know is somebody is coming, that same person with a garland of flowers. Why? Because he feels some obligation, although I didn't tell him he had to give me anything back, but he felt such pleasure because I gave it in an unselfish, undemanding, unconditional way. When we receive things unconditionally. In other words, I give it to you and you have it, you enjoy it, you become satisfied with it, and you don't have to give me anything back, because the pleasure is all mine in giving it. The getting is in the giving. So I don't have to, I gave you something, and the next day I said, well, I gave you some halwa yesterday, what are you going to give me today? This is not devotional service. This is called merchandising. It's called business. And this goes on throughout the world. And it's very rare that someone like Srila Prabhupada who came, and he gave his teachings, and I remember I was one of his competitors, by the way. As humorous as that may sound, he had come, he was over on the east side of Manhattan, I was on the west side of Manhattan, and some of my students, they started to go over to his place. And then those who went over to his place, and they weren't coming back to me. And he's taking away my business. For Srila Prabhupada, it wasn't a business. It was a calling and a devotional action, a devotional expression. So some of my students, they left me. I had Dravida Prabhu, I had who was very well known, the BBT editor. Does something have to happen? I see the heads. Okay, but okay, the doors. Thank you. You can all offer your obeisances to the doors, to the deities. The doors are closing now, out of respect. Thank you for reminding me. The Dravida Prabhu, and also we have one of our major book distributors who's been going on for at least 45 years, and that is Brigupati Prabhu. So they were my students. And then they were doing service for me. They were living in my ashram, and then one day they didn't come back. And then I began wondering, why aren't they coming back? At first, Dravida didn't come back, and Brigupati didn't come back. So I heard that they joined the Hare Krishna movement. And why did you join them? Basically, I found out that because the Hare Krishna movement had thousands of times more to offer than what I had to offer. Here I am, really a person who's born in New York. I have a little bit of knowledge of how to touch your head to your knees, and how to do a back bend, but I mean, and also maybe how to calm your mind, control your senses. But Srila Prabhupada had so much more. There are different levels and stages of bhakti and different levels and stages of ecstasy. And Srila Prabhupada came to bring us the ecstasy which comes from within. I was just mentioning a few moments ago that when we begin to offer our love unreservedly and unmotivatedly, unconditionally to the Supreme Lord, hey, you take this. I am so happy to get the opportunity to express my love to you, that I owe you just for the idea that you're allowing me to share this with you. But whether you're giving him a cake, whether you're giving him a ring, you're giving him a watch, or you're just giving him some beautiful, what do they call it? Tilak, whatever it is, as Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do this as a love offering to me. In this way you'll be freed from the bondage of work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation. We all know what renunciation means. Give. Give. Yeah, there are living entities living in there, so I have to be very respectful. So give. So when Krishna sees it, we're giving without the sense, without the feeling, with the selfless feeling that we are just receiving by giving. Think about that. We're receiving by giving because Krishna is the all-powerful, all-powerful giver. He's the most merciful incarnation. That's what we refer to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahabhadinyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauditvijay Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other incarnation of God, because he is bestowing upon us what no other incarnation has ever given. And that is what? That is what? Yes, pure love of God. And when you receive it, you are so pregnant with that love that all you want to do is, when a woman is pregnant with a baby, she wants to get the baby out. When a devotee is pregnant with pure love, he wants to get the love out. And he displays it in so many different ways. He may do book distribution, he may do worship on the altar, he may cook foods for the deities, he may sew for the deities, he may write books for the deities. The important thing is that the devotee is swollen with this immense amount of joyfulness within. So when you're so joyful, it is not a joyfulness of a selfish nature. Joyfulness of a selfish nature is constricted and contracted. I just want to keep it all for myself. I don't want to share it with anyone. You know, some animals, they will get some food and immediately they go in some bushes so that nobody will see them and they can just eat it by themselves. That's contracted. But a devotee who has received so much love from Krishna, as I said, super soul is here, the soul is here, and when the soul is, as I said, unconditionally offering to Krishna, as he said, whatever you give me, it doesn't matter, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, Krishna says, I will accept it. When Krishna accepts your love, it automatically means that he will also be inside, within your heart, giving back to you. What will he give back to you? He will give back to you his love. That love manifests in the feeling of joyfulness, happiness, of what everyone wants and what everyone originally had in the eternal spiritual world. We were all happy. We were all original Krishna conscious living entities. We were all once serving Krishna. But at one time it came to us that what does it feel like? What does it feel like to be a Lord, to be served, rather than always being on the end of serving? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Is it pleasurable? How pleasurable is it? So when living entities like ourselves began to become curious, if not obsessed with this idea, that I want to know what it feels like to be a Lord. Yes, to be a power, to be looked up to be bowed down to be applauded. to be honored, to be celebrated, to be glorified. When that becomes an all-consuming passion with us, we are no longer fit. We're no longer ready. We no longer can live in the spiritual world where we all once lived. Well, where do we go? We go to a world where we all can become lords of some degree or another. Everyone here, for example, some of you are mothers and fathers. Well, you're the lords of your kids. Do this, go here. No, don't do that. You must go to school. You're the Lord. And the kid is helpless, so that he has to obey. So you get the taste of being, the big shot, so to speak. And then as persons grow up, then they go to school, and then you may be a teacher, and you tell the kids, you have to do this, you have to spell the word this way, this is the way you do mathematics. So you're always on the teaching, you're always on the ordering, you're always on the pointing the finger. So we grow up always receiving orders. And then eventually, as we grow stronger and as we become more mature and more intelligent, what that results in is that we then become lords. You may be a lord of a company, like a CEO or a CFO. You may be the lord of a household, husband trying to boss the woman, the wife trying to boss the husband. The thing is this, one gets an opportunity to feel what it's like to be in the position of being on top rather than always giving. However, that is a very, very shallow type of happiness because it's very temporary. You see, you get a chance to lord it over your child, well then the child grows up and is no longer a child. Now he's a grown young man. But who are you going to lord it over with? You're too old to have new children. So what do? You're going to adopt? You're 55, 60 years old, you're going to adopt? No, it's too late now. So lordship gives us little pleasures which are of a temporary nature, and all they do is they appeal to the false ego. Ego is the sense that I am this body, and with this body I will use it in this world to find some kind of lordship. Tell somebody go in there and have the child. Thank you very much, because it's a distraction. So.